Okay, hello there. Now in this tutorial we're going to be looking at HTML tables, a table that can be designed by an HTML language. Now this is an example of a table. This is a table that I'm going to design using HTML. Now normally this table is going to have columns and rows. For example, it's having name, biology, physics, computer, CRE as columns, and the rows are name, Mark, Chris, arranged like that. Now in HTML, if we're designing tables, we should mind about the following. One is table border and table data, table header, and table row. Now let's see how they work. Okay, using an example of this folder I'm creating, if I rename it as HTML tables, okay, then I open Notepad from the start button. I'm using Notepad as a text editor. Yes, this is Notepad, and then I write the basic HTML code. It is here. Then I continue to heads. Okay, then under head there is title, and again title. Maybe I can rename title as tables. Now we note that HTML, the best editor in HTML for beginners, it is Notepad, because Notepad gives you a chance to write your code from scratch. It is not providing any help to you, so you have to write your code from scratch. For a beginner, you should be using Notepad, but for other users, you can go with ++. You can go with Visual Studio Code. You can go with Adobe CC 2019. But for this case, I'm using Notepad. So I can create the body tag. This is the body tag, and I've closed it. And in the body tag, I can put something like this is a table in HTML. Okay, so let me first save this. If I click at File and then go to Save As, or you can use the shortcut Ctrl+S. Then under the desktop, I look for my folder. It is here, HTML tables. Then I rename this as tables.html, not forgetting the extension. Then all files. Then I save. So if I go to my folder, I'm already locating the file tables, but I'm going to open it with Chrome. Chrome, for me, it is Chrome that is the best. I always use Chrome when I'm running my HTML codes. So Chrome is here. So if I open Chrome, yes, it is popping up the heading I've already created in the body tag. We note that everything that appears in the body tag is capable of appearing in the website. A body tag is going to cover almost 98% of what appears in your website. Okay, now let me jump in to the table right now using the code I talked of: table border, table row, table data, etc. I'm going to explain all that. An example is, if I'm starting coding my table, I'm going to come up with a code: table border. You mind the spelling. Border is written as this. You don't put a there. You use American spelling of border because the language HTML is American. Table border is equal to, then I can give it any border I want. Maybe I want it to have a thick border of 7, and I could first save this and then I see how it works. If I save, then I refresh, you see it is putting some structure of a table. You can even decide to close your table there and then. Maybe you have other code you could be writing, so you need to close your table. So straight away, now having seen the importance of table border, we can jump into a table row and then a table header. Now, if you look at this example of a table I'm trying to do, HTML tables are always captured with a row. It is always a table row, table header. Now, for the first case, it is table row, table header. Why? Because this row here, this row, the entire row I'm highlighting, is taken as one row, and in the row you find a lot of headings. For my case, I'm having 5 headings: names, biology, physics, computer, then CRE. Those are the headings I'm having in my table. So even in my code, if I'm writing that, I'm going to start with, I give it a table row, indicating that, you know what, I'm in a row. I'm trying to input headers, but in form of a row. I put th. Then what is the first header in my row? It is name. It is names. Okay. Now I could continue to the rest. If I press enter, then I put th. What is the second header in my row? It is biology, according to the table I'm trying to design. Let me first save this, and then I see what my computer does. Okay. Now my computer is putting the rows, the table row and the headers in the row. Now, depending on what you're having in your header, you continue putting that in form of table header. Now I'm running with physics, computer, then CRE. I just move on to table header. This is physics, then computer. Sorry, I need a table header. Then I write computer. Then table header, I write CRE. It means that if I save this, Ctrl S, and then I refresh my table, it is putting all the columns. Actually, normally people call them columns, but HTML is going to see this as a table row and a table header. That's why here I first typed table row. Actually, I did it once to show the computer that, you know what, I'm in that one row, and I'm typing a table header name, table header biology, table header physics, table header computer, and table header CRE. So if I want to change, because you want to change to another row, the rows, the columns are at CRE, and I'm done putting the table headers. I am now going to change to another row. This is the second row in my table. It is mark 56, 66, 98, 55. Okay, if you're already getting this, you know that at the end of CRE, I'm supposed to introduce another row, table row. Yes, because if you don't introduce a table row and then you continue with maybe table header, for example, I continue with th, then I type mark, I save, and then if I refresh my table, you see it is putting mark in the wrong direction, yet I need mark under names. So if I need mark under names, I just introduce another table row to put mark down. And then instead of putting a table header, I call it now TD. TD means table data. I type mark. I just put another table data. I think Mark had a mark in biology that was 56, 66, 98, 55. Okay. Mark had 56, so TD 56. I type 56, another TD, I think the next one is 66, another TD, it was 98, then the last TD is 55. Okay, now the computer knows that you are in the same row, the second row. That is why when I save and then I refresh in my table here, it is going to put mark under in the second row, because I identified a table row and a table data, table data, table data. The question is, when do we use table data and table header? We use a table header, a th, when we are creating the first items on top of our table. And we use a td when you're creating other items within the table. Okay, you could move along with me when you're trying to put another student. Let us say Chris as another student. Chris got 50 in all subjects. 50, 50, 50, 50. Okay, you could move along with me. You're saying that you put a new table row because Chris is supposed to be in a new row. Then yes, TD, Chris had 50. In biology, another TD, Chris had another 50. In physics, another TD, Chris had 50. In computer, and the last TD, Chris had 50 in CRE. Now if I save this and then I refresh, you see Chris is actually, there's a mistake. I've made a mistake. Let me go back to my code and see where the mistake is. Now we always expect mistakes when we are coding, and when you get a mistake you refresh and actually you go back to your code and see where the mistake is. Now I'm realizing the first mistake. I wrote TR, that is correct, but I missed out on TD, and then I didn't show it that I'm now heading to Chris. And I think the rest of the TDs are right. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I save this and then I refresh my table, you see that the mistake is now gone. Okay, now that is how we design the tables in HTML. Depending on any table you're doing, you mind that the table borders, the table rows, table headers, table data, etc. Okay, I'll do another video about more of tables in HTML. Tables have padding, they have margin, etc. But for the start, this table is so important to know or design in HTML. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. That is it with HTML tables. A nice time.